This weekend was such a roller coaster of emotions, and what a journey it's been for OpenAI, for Sam Altman, for Greg Brockman, and for anyone following all of that news unfolding. In case you're completely unaware of what's happened, which I'm sure you're not if you've been on the internet at all over this weekend, on Thursday, Sam Altman, who was the CEO of a company called OpenAI, was invited to join a video call on the Friday afternoon. Greg Brockman, who again was part of the leadership team and was on the board, was not invited to this call. The following day at around noon, Sam Altman was told that he was being fired and Greg was being demoted and he would no longer be the chairman of the board. He later then decided to quit. In a statement, the board of directors said that they believed that Sam had not been consistently candid in his communications, and as a result, they had lost confidence in his leadership. This craziness then just continued in the weekend, and we kind of watched it unfold on X. We discovered that Mira was stepping in as CEO, and she actually later planned to hire Sam Altman back as CEO, and there was ongoing conversations as to whether or not that was going to happen. It turns out, from what I can discover now, Monday morning, that Sam Altman has definitely left. He is not returning as CEO, and actually they have now hired a guy called Emmett to take that position. So all of this has been absolutely crazy, and it really goes to show just how quickly and easily a founder of a company can actually be removed. Now, obviously, this can be quite a good thing if the founder no longer has the right intentions for the company and the board are concerned about that particular individual leading the company forward. However, there has also been a lot of scrutiny about how much impact and how much power the influential investors in the board actually have on a company, specifically the trajectory of tech companies. So now we have to ask ourselves, could the same thing that happened to Sam Altman happen to Alex Karp at Palantir? If you become a member of this channel, you will get access to custom emojis, including faces of Alex Karp, which are pretty funny. There are loyalty badges, early access to videos, guaranteed replies to comments. It all depends on which tier you pick. So definitely check that out if you're interested. Palantir are a newer publicly traded company, and they work in providing both governmental and commercial organizations pieces of software to help them improve their data analytical abilities. And of course, they are also a big player in artificial intelligence. However, Palantir have done things slightly differently from OpenAI. And this difference that we're going to talk about in just a second is very important in understanding how we can't necessarily expect the same thing that happened at OpenAI with Sam Altman to happen at Palantir with Alex Karp. So Palantir have taken very careful and considerate and proactive steps to ensure their independence and ensure their mission actually remains aligned with their founder's vision and doesn't get taken off course and influenced by status, money, or anything else. This is where F-class shares come in, and they have been designed to empower founders and executives with significantly more voting power. And when we say significantly more voting power, that is what we mean. We don't mean that when there are F-class shares present that founders get a tiny little bit more voting power. We are talking that sometimes one of these F-class shares is the equivalent to 10, even 20 times more voting power than a normal share gets. So why do companies do this? Well, it all comes down to this idea of maintaining control and direction. The tech industry moves very quickly, and it can be influenced by a lot of power, status, and money. So it's really important in this industry in particular that actually the founder's vision remains on track. That is what everything in the company is aligned to. And if that gets swayed off course, things can move in a different direction very quickly. So who actually gets these F-class shares at Palantir? Well, it's the company's founders, Peter Thiel, Alex Karp, and Joe Longsdale. So those guys get a significant amount of voting power. When this was established that these founders would get significantly more voting power in terms of giving them F-class shares, this decision was met with quite a lot of scrutiny and criticism because some people argue that this gave the founders way too much control. And this level of control and voting power could actually cause limited growth in the future and maybe even limit innovation. Now, I think with everything that we've seen at the moment, and we've seen Alex Karp's vision and mission, I don't think that this is happening. I don't think there's a concern about a lack of innovation or a lack of growth in Palantir. So even though there's been a lot of criticism, Palantir's founders have maintained their F-class shares, as they believe this helps to protect the company's long-term vision. And of course, this naturally does put some barriers in place to stop the CEO, so Alex Karp, from being removed from the company if the board loses confidence or there are some external pressures. So far, F-class shares have actually come in pretty helpful for Palantir, because they have received a lot of criticism, including criticism about Alex Karp himself. We know this. We've seen this with the NHS contract. We've seen it with media sources picking up this idea that Palantir have a really secretive past and they are a spy company. They do receive a lot of criticism. And actually, they've even received criticism from billionaire George Soros, which you'll probably know if you're familiar with Palantir at all. But these F-class shares has provided some protection and has allowed Palantir as a company to remain focused on its mission and maintain their direction and what the company was actually set up by its founders to do in the first place. So just to conclude, my take is that we could never rule it out. We don't know whether Alex Karp would one day be removed, just like Sam Altman was over at OpenAI. However, Palantir does have these F-class shares that do offer this barrier of protection. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in another video very shortly.